proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is News Watch 16 at noon.
Heartbreak after a deadly house fire in the Poconos. What we know so far, our top story here on News Watch 16 at noon. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Lang. Rennie is off. A devastating house fire in Carbon County, claiming the lives of 5 people, 4 of them children. News Watch 16's Emily Kress joins us live from the scene on Willow Street in Franklin Township with the very latest. Emily.
Stacey, this community nearly heightened, waking up to that heartbreaking news that 5 people have died, including 4 children in that fire. Now officials are here on scene, still piecing together what caused this fire. State police say the fire broke out just before midnight at this home on Willow Street, just outside of Lehighton. Of the 5 killed, the Carbon County Coroner's Office says 1 woman and 4 children were found inside this home. In a statement from the Lehighton Area School District Superintendent, 3 of those children were students in the district. They were in kindergarten, 1st grade, and 9th grade. The age of the other child has not yet been released. School district officials say resources will be available to any student who needs support during this time. And when fire crews arrived here overnight, the 1st floor and the back of the 2nd floor were consumed by flames. 1 person who lives on the other side of this double block home was able to make it out safely. Now a state police fire marshal is here investigating. We're told they're bringing in every resource available to figure out what caused this fire in Franklin Township. Emily Kress, News Watch 16, reporting live in Carbon County.
Emily, thanks for the latest there on that tragic story. A fire marshal will determine what sparked a fire here in Luzerne County. Crews responded to a vacant home along West Doran Street in Kingston just after 6 this morning. Officials believe the fire started in a bathroom on the 2nd floor. No one was hurt after that fire in Luzerne County. 2 Wilkes-Barre municipal workers are being honored for their quick thinking during a house fire. Last Wednesday, Tyler Carilla and AJ Yellen spotted smoke coming from a home on Brown Street. The duo called 911 and banged on doors to wake up the 2 people sleeping inside. They received a special commendation for bravery from Wilkes-Barre Mayor George Brown.
We have the best police, fire, DPW departments in the state of Pennsylvania. I'll put my folks up against anybody. They are wonderful, and I'm here to support them. So I'm very proud of what these 2 gentlemen did.
The 2 men also helped save 3 dogs and 2 cats here in Wilkes-Barre. A city in Lackawanna County starting to celebrate America's 250th birthday. As part of an initiative from America 250 PA, Liberty Bell replicas will be placed across all of Pennsylvania's 67 counties. Carbondale officials unveiled their bell last night. It was painted by a local artist to represent Carbondale as a city.
It's all the icons in the city of Carbondale, including a spaceship, but the hospital's on there, City Hall is on there, the churches are on there, and that's another factor of who we are. We're very fundamental in our beliefs, and we're fundamental in our values, so that's important to us, is to have that represented for generations to come.
Carbondale is one of the first municipalities in Lackawanna County to unveil its bell. In addition to celebrating America's birthday next year, the city will also mark its 175th anniversary. The U.S. government is officially shut down. Lawmakers back on Capitol Hill today to try and solve the issue. As ABC's Olivia Rubin explains, both sides of the aisle are blaming each other.
Today, Democrats and Republicans arriving on Capitol Hill to a bitter stalemate. Last night, Republicans advancing a bill to temporarily fund the government, but only 2 Democrats joined them, so it failed to pass.
There's still time for Democrats to pass this clean bipartisan bill that's sitting before them, and we encourage our Democrat colleagues to do that.
Democrats' own bill shot down by Republicans, too. They're holding out support until Republicans reverse Medicaid cuts they pushed through in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill and extend Affordable Health Care Act tax credits to stop health care premiums from going up for millions.
Democrats are united in our resolve to make sure that we cancel the cuts. We're in the midst of an incredible crisis, a health care crisis that Republicans have caused.
But there's no sign Republicans will budge either. The question now, how long can this last?
Republicans control the Senate, the House, and the White House. They must have a plan to solve this.
And this morning, the White House putting $18 billion worth of funding for New York City infrastructure on hold.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them.
With every passing day, the effects of the shutdown expected to worsen. Hundreds of thousands of employees furloughed. Up to 4 million federal workers could go without pay, including the military. Workers deemed essential, like TSA employees, forced to work without pay.
Child care does not take IOUs. Gasoline does not take IOUs. Your house payments do not take IOUs.
And with lawmakers back on Capitol Hill this morning, there is more finger pointing than there is problem solving. The last shutdown was 7 years ago and lasted 35 days. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
The budget stalemate in Harrisburg entering its 4th month. Lawmakers were supposed to approve a budget by the end of June. The holdup means billions of dollars cannot be sent to schools and social services. Some of those organizations warn they may have to borrow money or lay off workers if they don't receive funding soon. The State House returned to the Capitol this week for negotiations.
We are already way past due on this. We need to work quickly to get a solution and get a budget done that Pennsylvanians can live with and that funds the things that matter to Pennsylvanians.
The state Senate is not expected to return to Harrisburg until next week. The Trump administration says it's close to reaching a deal with Harvard University. The school was previously targeted with a series of investigations and billions of dollars in funding cuts. As part of the proposed settlement, Harvard would pay $500 million and agree to operate trade schools in order to get its federal grants restored.
This would be a giant trade school, series of trade schools. It would be run by Harvard. We have tremendous plants opening, and we want to have people at top level for those plants.
The tentative deal comes as Ford's CEO warns the U.S. is, quote, far behind rivals like China and Japan in the blue-collar industries. A gas explosion causing part of an apartment building to collapse in New York City. It happened just after 8 this morning in the Bronx. Video shows one corner of the public housing building is now a pile of rubble. The city says no residential units are affected, and there are no reports of any injuries after that collapse here in New York City. Well, today is Wildlife Wednesday, and these deer decided to stop for a little snack. Coming up on Newswatch 16 at noon, what they were able to fish out of this pond.
The news station. This is Newswatch 16 at 5.
A welcome home fit for a hero.
A remarkable recovery for Scranton Police Detective Kyle Gilmartin. We have team coverage of the special homecoming, and it's our top story on Newswatch 16 at 5. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Lang.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Scranton Police Detective Kyle Gilmartin is now back home in Scranton. The 9-year veteran of the force was shot in the line of duty last month when he and his fellow officers were ambushed during a gang-related shooting in the city's west side. We have complete live team coverage of the hero's welcome home. Newswatch 16's Courtney Harrison is at Scranton Police Headquarters. Melissa Steininger is outside the State Police Barracks in Dunmore. And Jack Culkin is at Cooper Seafood House, where the community is supporting Gilmartin and his family. And we're going to start with Newswatch 16's Courtney Harrison, who had a front row seat for Detective Kyle Gilmartin's speech. Courtney.
Yeah, Lisa, tears of joy and loud cheers came from the crowd seeing Scranton Detective Kyle Gilmartin for the first time since he was transferred to a rehabilitation hospital near Philadelphia following the shooting. Hundreds of officers, community leaders, and people gathered to see Detective Gilmartin in his full dress uniform and his wife Lindsay step out of Scranton Police Headquarters. It's been 7 weeks since Detective Gilmartin was shot in the head during an investigation in the city's west side. The welcome home celebration started with the national anthem, then a prayer, followed by speeches from Scranton Police Chief Tom Carroll, then Detective Gilmartin, who showed just how much he has recovered since that day, standing tall and getting to thank everyone for the support.
That night I was just an ordinary man who was placed in an extraordinary circumstance in which I faced evil and won due to the grace of God. My family and I are beyond proud of northeastern Pennsylvania and how its people respond to this senseless tragedy. We thank you for the prayers which have worked, as well as the donations which will be needed greatly in the future.
We will hear more from Detective Gilmartin's speech coming up at 6. We continue our team coverage with Newswatch 16's Melissa Steininger, who has more on the search for justice following the police shooting. Melissa.
Thanks, Courtney. We have now confirmed the young man accused of shooting Detective Kyle Gilmartin is out of the hospital and now behind bars in Lackawanna County. And while today is a day of celebration for those who protect and serve, they're still working tirelessly towards justice.
If I can choose one thing to come from this, it would be that I would be the last victim of senseless violence.
It is a day of hope as Detective Kyle Gilmartin made his way to Scranton Police headquarters as a sea of those who protect and serve were there to welcome home a hero.
They were busy days. They were all business, just trying to make sure we got justice for Kyle and make sure he was okay. So to have a day like today with the sun out shining and everybody here in a good mood, it's just you can't put words to it.
While Detective Gilmartin made strides in recovery over the past several months, investigators have also been making strides towards justice.
The work never ends with the arrest. They have to plan for the prosecution, make sure that we have everything lined up. But today, everyone takes a break. They take a deep breath.
The man accused of shooting Detective Gilmartin back on January 11th is 20-year-old Aiden Deininger. He was shot by other officers on scene. Deininger is currently being held in Lackawanna County Jail after being released from Geisinger CMC in Scranton. He's facing 3 counts of attempted homicide of a law enforcement officer. Investigators believe that shooting was gang-related.
Over the years, everybody's kind of swept it under the rug, and we're not doing that anymore. There's a gang problem here, and we're going to address that issue.
It's a growing problem in Scranton, as Detective Gilmartin called for change in his own words.
Together we can all work and end youth gang violence.
As Detective Gilmartin continues to unite a community fighting for change.
And really bringing everybody together here as a unit to to really combat what's going on here in the violence in our community.
Aiden Deininger, the man accused of shooting Detective Gilmartin, has a preliminary hearing scheduled for next week. And as we heard there today, a sigh of relief for those who serve as they continue to work towards justice. But this is just the beginning of the outpouring of support for Detective Kyle Gilmartin as it extends across the entire community. For more on that, we bring in Newswatch 16's Jack Holken. Jack.
Melissa, Cooper's Seafood is just one of the many businesses that have held fundraisers over the past few weeks that will help benefit Detective Gilmartin and his family. Those efforts seen here in Lackawanna County and beyond have helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. Since Detective Kyle Gilmartin was shot on January 11th, support has poured in across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Some fundraisers included plates filled with everything from crab legs to pancakes, all to raise money for Gilmartin's recovery. One of the biggest fundraisers was a GoFundMe set up by the Fraternal Order of Police EB German Lodge 2. More than 2,500 donations have been made so far, raising more than $200,000 for the Gilmartin family.
Overwhelmed, really, honestly. We had no idea the support would come, that quickly. I mean, or maybe over time, but man, it was just amazing, like the community coming together. And
here at Cooper's Seafood House along North Washington Avenue in Scranton, the St. Patrick's Parade Association of Lackawanna County is holding an event until 7 p.m. Proceeds will be going to Detective Gilmartin and his family. Jack Holken, Newswatch 16, live in Scranton. Stacy and Lisa, back to you.
Jack, Courtney, and Melissa, thank you for those reports. To read and watch our coverage of Gilmartin's recovery and for the latest in the investigation, you can head to our website, WNEP.com. Cardboard sleds of all shapes and sizes race down the mountain.
More than 100 groups entered their creations. Coming up on Newswatch 16 at 5, we'll stop by the Cardboard Classic on Montage Mountain.
And later on Newswatch 16 at 5, this pit bull mix loves to play catch all day and go for walks. Right, rescue workers say Cardi is so special in this week's 16 to the Rescue.
First, Chief Meteorologist Kurt Aaron is in the backyard.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a little breezy here in the backyard. That beautiful blue sky we had earlier, now replaced by these clouds. We're going to talk about the chance for some rain showers here tomorrow. then a much better Sunday on the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
16 is sponsored by your local Ford stores. Hurry in today for the best offers. Or check out Ford's full lineup at buyfordnow.com today. From WNEP, the news station, this is Newswatch 16 at 5.
Tropical Depression Debbie slamming into northeastern and central Pennsylvania, flooding roads like this one. It's our top story on Newswatch 16 at 5. Good afternoon, I'm Lisa Washington. The remnants of Debbie are still impacting parts of northeastern and central Pennsylvania. We have live team coverage this afternoon. Our Emily Kress is in Monroe County, where winds played a big role there. Lots of flooding left behind from the rain in Lycoming County. Mackenzie Walker is there. And Melissa Steininger and Jack Culkin have a look at how the rain is impacting Luzerne and Lackawanna counties. Flash flood watches and warnings are still in effect. We're going to start with our chief meteorologist, Kurt Aaron, in our Severe Weather Center. Kurt.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm happy to report there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can see over my shoulder that a lot of the watches and warnings that we had posted earlier are being allowed to expire or are being canceled. We still have new flash flood warnings coming up because of the smaller streams and creeks in areas with poor drainage. There's a lot of runoff from the rain from today. Let's jump to the radar, show you that light at the end of the tunnel I was just mentioning. There you go. You can see that straight line of showers. That was the heavy line that moved through Williamsport this morning and early afternoon. Now we're seeing just these spotty showers still being impacted by Debbie. You can see we're going to see some more showers over eastern Lycoming County. That is heading towards DeLong Memorial School. I know the schools are out of session. It's just giving you some landmarks there. And then down to the south, we've got another storm system. That one's bringing just mainly rain. We don't see a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning or hail, but it's going to be over Danville, Mount Carmel, Ashland, and those areas. And then if you look up towards Hartford, that is moving east towards Pleasant Mountain, those areas. So we're not out of the woods just yet. And we do have, as I mentioned, a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. We also have that wind advisory, parts of the Poconos, and also some flash flood warnings because of those areas that saw that heavy rain. Nippenose Valley, that's southern Lycoming County, just over 5 inches. Mifflinburg, there was a spot 6 miles southwest of Mifflinburg, 4.8. Dick and Richfield, 4.3. Allenwood, we got 3.8, and in Clark Summit, we got 3.5. So there's 7 o'clock. We still have a couple of those showers around, but as you notice, it really tapers off after 7, 8 o'clock tonight. So rain ending from west to east. We're watching those rivers and streams. And the weekend, whew, big sigh of relief, Lisa. The weekend's looking absolutely beautiful. We'll talk more about that in our main weather in just a little bit.
We need a sigh of relief. All right, Kurt, thanks so much. To get the latest river and stream levels near you, just text the word river to that number on your screen, 570-826-1616. Part of a major stretch of highway in the Poconos is closed. Those looking to take a portion of Route 380 in Tobyhanna area will have to find another way. We continue our live team coverage with Emily Kress. She is live in Coolbar Township. Emily.
Lisa, Tropical Storm Debbie brought the rain, she brought the wind, and then she brought the travel issues here to the Poconos. We're here near the on-ramp to 380 South, and this is exactly where people are finding out that they need to find a different way to get to their destination. There are cones blocking access to Route 380 since it's closed in both directions. The closure is between Tobyhanna and the Mount Pocono exits because of some knockdown utility lines on the highway. PennDOT officials say they have crews out there clearing things up, but PennDOT officials say Route 380 will stay closed while those crews are out there working. Luckily, there is no rain right now, and there is no timeline as to when Route 380 will stay open, but stick with Newswatch 16. We'll bring you the latest as those details become available. Emily Kress, Newswatch 16, reporting live in Monroe County.
Emily, thank you for that report. We turn now to Lycoming County, where the rain caused major flooding problems. Some residents had to be evacuated from their homes. Newswatch 16's Mackenzie Walker is live in Williamsport. Mackenzie.
Lisa, throughout Cogan Station and Old Lycoming Township, water was coming through people's yards and basements. Some residents we spoke with say they've never seen flooding in their area this bad.
I mean, there was 1.5 feet of water running down through here, and like I said, I got my car out just in time before it was ready to roll inside the door, you know. And like I said earlier there, I turned around and there's my dog swimming like crazy. He's about ready to get swept away, and I'm So I threw him in the truck and moved the truck and came inside and just hope for the best.
Gary Yaw from Hepburn Township tells us residents were rescued from the area near Long Run Creek earlier after water from the creek began to rise. He says the heavy rain started coming down near Cogan Station around 7 Friday morning. At the time, he was running 3 pumps to get water out of his basement. He had another basement door closed where he believed there was about 5 feet of water on the other side of the door.
It got water. It's going to need all cleaned out and it'll be a mess.
Robin Hannon from Old Lycoming says it's flooded in the township before, but not this bad.
It's gotten bad before, and they had put rocks on this side of it because to stop it from flooding, and they made the holes in the stream bigger so the water can go through. Sometimes you get trees and stuff blocking up here, and then it floods too.
Hannon also tells us her fiance's mother's house got hit hard with flooding.
It was up to the first step. They're trying to get it pumped out and stuff, and we can't use her, water or anything right now.
With flooding. We'll have more coming up on Newswatch 16 at 6. Mackenzie Ocker, Newswatch 16, live in Williamsport.
Mackenzie, thank you. We turn now to Luzerne County where the rain flooded creeks and streams. We check in with Newswatch 16's Melissa Steininger for the latest there.
Yeah, Lisa, emergency management officials were worried about those creeks and streams overflowing with this storm, and that's exactly what happened here in Luzerne County. These creeks and streams couldn't handle all of that rain. As Tropical Depression Debbie hit Luzerne County and the rain came down, the waters of Hunlocks Creek in the Back Mountain continued to rise. Here's a look from the creek moving swiftly along Hillside Road near Shavertown. Down in Wilkes-Barre, the traffic along Blackman Street was detoured as the road between New Frederick and Hazel Streets was closed off. Solomon's Creek rising up and causing a headache for homeowners.
It's been a couple of years since we've had any water in the cellar, like probably about 7. But it has happened 6 or 7 times where we got up to 3.5 feet.
Wow.
And that's not good for my furnace or my hot water heater.
Bob Rushkowski has lived along Blackman Street for nearly 40 years and says flooding is a persistent problem. But this time it's bubbling up and heading into his basement.
I usually don't get water till I get up to about my 2nd or 3rd step. Now I'm getting water down and it's coming in very slowly, which is not the norm. The norm is usually 10 minutes, I got 3 feet.
It's totally water, like a lake. This is a lake. This isn't a creek.
Out in Dallas, Leggio's restaurant getting hit by flooding for a 2nd time in a year. The restaurant was ravaged in last year's September flooding, and 11 months to the day, Toby Creek overflowing once again and causing problems for the business.
Before it was different. Now this is just complete frustration of no one helping, no one doing anything. Where's the borough? I call the borough and they say, just clean it up. Clean it up. This is not cleanup. This is more than just cleaning up and trimming trees.
While the worst of Debbie has passed here in Luzerne County, now begins that cleanup process for those homes and businesses impacted by that flooding. But for now, live in Luzerne County, Melissa Steininger, Newswatch 16.
Melissa, thank you. Floodgates are up in part of Lackawanna County. Meanwhile, roads are flooded in one community. Newswatch 16's Jack Colvin joins us live in Scranton. Jack.
Lisa, the call went out just before 2 o'clock this afternoon to close the floodgates like this one behind me here on Olive Street in Scranton. And while the city braced for potential flash flooding, other communities like South Abington Township could not do anything against the rising water.
It is flowing very much like a river, and it's just stopped over there like a big pond, ocean type thing. It's a lot, everywhere, all around us.
Roads quickly began to look more like rivers as remnants of Tropical Storm Debbie shut down Northern Boulevard and made other areas of South Abington Township impassable. This part of the Abingtons is no stranger to flooding. Heavy rain led to major road and business closures in this area last fall. McCarthy Flowers customers and employees like Elizabeth Campbell were stuck as water rushed down Shady Lane Road and onto Route 11, forcing police to shut down this stretch of road.
There's a policeman over there. I think he's blocking the road. The construction guys, they've got it blocked over here. There's now 4 police officers. They've got it completely blocked. The notch is flooded. It's just everything is just...
Now, Northern Boulevard in South Abington Township did reopen just before 4 o'clock, but Shady Lane Road, which joins onto Route 11, is closed as of now. Here in Scranton, for those making their way back into the city after work, floodgates are remaining closed into the evening, according to Mayor Paige Cognetti, until flood watch is lifted sometime later this evening. For now, Jack Colkin, Newswatch 16, live in Scranton.
Jack, thank you for that. We'll take a look at this. This is what it looked like this afternoon in Susquehanna County. Route 106 in Clifford Township was flooded. Cars were trying to get through. Several other roads between Greenfield Township and Clifford Township look like this in Susquehanna County. You can keep an eye on the Storm Tracker 16 forecast. Just text the word weather to that number on your screen, 570-826-1616. It's almost time for kids to head back to school. One group is making sure kids have everything they need to succeed. Those details are coming up on Newswatch 16 at 5. And later at 5, this dog just loves going on car rides and errands. He's well trained. He just needs a good home. We'll meet Snoopy in this week's 16 to the Rescue.